Hey everybody, welcome to Metro Scene. I'm Marvin Jackson. Today we talk to Kyrstin Johnson. She is a great gymnast out of Baltimore, Maryland, and now she's with the Talladega Tornadoes out down in Alabama. Welcome to the show, Kyrstin.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about your journey in gymnastics and how did you get started in gymnastics?
First of all, it started at the age of 2, always flipping around the house, nonstop, always in grocery stores, in the mall. My mom always told me to stop, but I never did. But even though I did all of that flipping, my mom put me in dance at first, then cheerleading, because one of my family members, my cousin, she actually did gymnastics, and she went to Temple. But her parents were telling my parents, don't put her in gymnastics, it's gonna take a majority of your life, it's gonna be expensive. But funny story, this one particular time I was at Port Discovery. There was like this little girl at one level and I was like at a different level. And I would do a flip, she would do a flip. I would do like a back walkover, she would do a back walkover. So it was kind of like a competition thing. I finally had enough. So I turned around, put my little hands up, and just chucked a back handspring. And my parents were just like, what in the world? They were just like, okay, at that point, we're just gonna put her in gymnastics. Mm-hmm. And I started with rec. And then at the age of 10, got my first team, level 4, and I just went on from there. Yeah.
All right, and you were actually homeschooled.
Yeah.
In high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why was that important for you?
I actually wanted to go to the Olympics, mm-hmm. So I went to a gym that had an elite track, and we had to train for 6 hours. So I had no choice but to, be homeschooled. So that's why I started homeschooling.
All right, yeah. And your journey has not been all ups. There've been some downs, and that was because of injury, right? Mm-hmm. So talk about that.
It started with a back injury, and that's actually why I stopped focusing on the Olympics. I was kind of just like, okay, at this point, I actually want to focus on college. So during club, I would have like flare-ups on my back to where I have to do like physical therapy, needling. Sometimes it would even be to where I would only have to compete like 3 events or like maybe 2. But then I started to kind of get past that, and then this one particular year was actually my junior year. Unfortunately, a week before regionals, I sprained my ankle on the floor. And even though I sprained my ankle, it was pretty bad, I still taped it up and I was still determined to compete. And I did, I still competed all 4, but I wasn't really able to perform the way I wanted to, which kind of, the chances were slim of making nationals, and I didn't make it that year. But I made sure that my senior year that I would make nationals, and I did. But even after nationals, I still was having ankle problems, and come to find out I had bone growth, I had to get surgery. But now I'm all good now. No more problems. But I'm just really proud of myself because even though I had those downs, I never quit. And I just kept going.
So that's the lesson you learned,
yes.
Right? And you can pass that on to some of the other younger gymnasts, yes. Right?
If you have something that you love, just never quit. Just, mm-hmm. It's just like a lesson just for myself that I just know that I can do it if I put my mind to it. And mm-hmm. then you guys can too.
All right. And let's talk about your favorite event. Do you have a favorite or do you?
I have 2 favorites, okay. Vault and bars. And it's funny because like bars was not my strong suit at first. I used to struggle on bars, but I don't know, one day it just clicked. All the hard work just paid off, and it's seriously just one of my favorites. Yeah, mm-hmm. My Takachev is actually my favorite skill mm-hmm. In my bar routine.
All right, and all these events you do in gymnastics, there are a lot of young people that say they fear mm-hmm. sports like that. Mm-hmm. What do you say to them? How do you get over that?
Honestly, personally, I'm just like a daredevil. So I'm down to try anything. But one thing that I've learned is like if my coach says, Kyrstin, try this or like do this, I can trust my coach because my coach would never tell me to do something to where they think I, wouldn't be able to do it. They would never want me to ever hurt myself. So I definitely like trust my coach and trust my technique, most definitely. So that's definitely what I go to.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about your parents' involvement, because we're going to talk more about Talladega coming up in the second segment. But let's talk about your parents' involvement. How important have they been to you?
Very important. They have been my #1 supporter since day one. They have never missed a meet. Definitely have been through my ups and downs. And I seriously like thank them for that, because having their support is just, it's meant a lot.
All right.
Because just being able to look at them in the stands and be like, hi mom, hi dad. I love those memories. And like my dad and I will always have like this little handshake before meets. It'd be really fun.
All right. Well, you are now at Talladega in Alabama and HBCU.
Yeah.
With the gymnastics team. That is pretty cool. So we're going to talk more about that when we come back.
Okay.
So don't go away. More with Kyrstin Johnson when we return.
The coronavirus has affected the African American community in many ways, including a drastic drop in blood donations. This is the time to take care of one another, and blood transfusions from healthy African American donors can be a life-saving treatment for patients with sickle cell disease or cancer. The American Red Cross adheres to the highest standards of safety and infection control and urges you to come out to donate. Please, make an appointment today at redcrossblood.org.
So for my husband and I, Kyrstin has been our priority and her future. And, starting off, it was easy. But then as she progressed, it was a lot. It was a lot of work. But we've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed watching her skip levels. We know everything that we've done, what we've invested, whether it's time, financially. It has been very crucial to where she is now. It has paid off. So we're happy, we're thrilled, and we're excited.
And how did it feel when she got that scholarship to Talladega?
I'm gonna have to use Coach Asia's favorite phrase. It was exciting. It was very exciting. I mean, we were over the top because, she's had some difficult times through gymnastics with injuries and not being able to stay on a elite track and path to the Olympics to, she's focused on college, and college is very important, but to know that you still can actually make a name for yourself and to become a role model for other kids, she's still got to have a great space, be in a great space in gymnastics for others and for herself.
How do you feel about the HBCUs getting involved in gymnastics? How big is that?
That is huge. First of all, I would like to thank Coach Darren with Brown Girls Do Gymnastics and HBCU Alliance, because without them, this would not be possible and we would not be sitting here talking today. It is very important because now it opens the door for other Black gymnasts to now be able to consider being able to go to a HBCU. Most likely they've wanted to consider going to a HBCU, and they've had to make a choice, a difficult choice, to go to a D1 and compete or to give up gymnastics to be at a HBCU. Now they don't have to do that. They can have both. I'm super excited because it's historical. It's historical still for Fisk, and it's historical for Talladega as well. So they've got two very important meets coming up. The first two meets, the first one in Florida, Talladega and Fisk get to meet for the very first time. So that's going to be very historical in itself. And then for Coach Tarver to create this phenomenal meet for MLK Day, 6 head coaches for gymnastics, 2 HBCUs, we're super excited. I don't even know which one to be more excited about.
Hey, Mom and Dad, there's a way to let your kids have fun.
And learn a skill that could save their life.
Swim lessons, woo!
Sadly, drowning takes too many young lives, but it's preventable, and studies show that lessons reduce that risk by 88%.
So go to usaswimmingfoundation.org and enroll your child today.
I learned how to swim.
The USA Swimming Foundation, saving lives and building champions.
All right, welcome back to Metro Scene. Marvin Jackson here with Kyrstin Johnson. And Kyrstin is doing some really great things for gymnastics. Kyrstin is now a member of the Talladega Tornadoes gymnastics team, and they are the second HBCU to have gymnastics. That is amazing. Yes. And the first one was Fisk, and you guys are pretty close with them, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, talk about this just groundbreaking situation where you guys are the second gymnastics team that is an HBCU, and how did that happen for you? Because you were the first signed.
Yeah. Honestly, it's amazing. I never thought any of this would ever happen. I've always just pictured myself as going to like a D1 school, because you never heard anyone talk about having, like a HBCU having a gymnastics team. But honestly, I was keeping my options open. And then all of a sudden, Coach Asia contacted me. My parents told me to, give her a chance. I had a phone call with her, and everything just went smoothly. She really just, sold me. I definitely knew I wanted to go to Talladega after talking to her. So.
And what is she like? She's a champion herself,
Yes.
right? I mean, talk about her and where she's from and what she accomplished.
I love Coach Asia. I just love her personality. She's so relatable, because not only is she black, she's also done gymnastics. She was a gymnast herself. She's had a skill named after her. Amazing gymnast. She went to Alabama. Alabama.
Right? And were they national champions? I think one
Yeah.
year, once or twice, right?
Sure was. We have an amazing coach. I'm so glad she's our coach.
Yeah.
So.
What about some of the other girls? Let's talk about some of the other people involved too. Where are they from, and how did that work when you guys finally met each other?
Very interesting, because, okay, Kiora, she's from Canada, and then we have Promise, she's from Florida. Sydney, she's from Arizona, and then we have like Alondra, she's from Puerto Rico. Everybody's from everywhere. I would have to say that is one of the reasons what really brought us together, like our differences. I think it's really cool, like we get to know each other's like cultures, like what's different. So yeah, I think that's actually really cool. Yeah, I think that's amazing.
All right, and do they all have similar talents, or are you all better at certain events than others? Is that what happened?
All of us are like, I have to say, like Kiki's strong suit is definitely bars. Lonnie's, Alondra, is floor. And then mine, actually, I don't know, it's probably like...
You're everything.
Everything. I was like doing all four.
Seen. Yeah.
But yeah, everyone is like good at like their own thing, which I think what also makes our team pretty unique. So I can't wait to show everyone.
Now, how excited were you when you saw these other people signing after you?
Oh, I was pumped, because I was just like, oh my gosh, like our team is actually starting to come together. Like this is actually happening. Like this is the real deal. And then once we finally got onto the campus, I was just like, okay, all right, it's game time. And we're training hard in the gym, and I just can't wait to show what Talladega Gymnastics is about this upcoming season.
Yeah.
So.
And you guys, are you all living together too? Is
yes,
that
we're
okay?
together.
How is that?
24/7. Yes. When it comes to the dorms, classes, we even just about have the same friend groups. So we literally have nothing but each other. So yeah, we're together like all the time. Yeah.
Okay. And Talladega, tell me about that that college. I mean, it's got a big name now, right? I mean, everybody's talking about you guys and about Fisk.
Yes.
With their gymnastics program. How does that feel for you guys? And tell us about Talladega. What is it all about? The city, everything.
Talladega, even though it's small, everyone knows everyone, okay?
What? Tear it up! We did what? Tear it up! They go what? Clean it up! Let's go TC! 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 TC!
Everyone's like a family. They have, cool activities. And I have to say, like, the band is like really cool. They play for every
Yes.
game. They're like really good. But even though we don't have a football team, like the gymnastics, we always support like all the other sports, like volleyball, soccer, track. So we make sure that we definitely support them because we will definitely want them to support us as well.
All right. Then is it cool being at a smaller campus? What's the benefit of that?
Well, I would have to say that, okay, first of all, at least everything is like closer together versus like classes. You don't have to walk so far. Honestly, I really don't think I would be able to handle that.
And practice too.
Yes, and practice. But I do realize that like in classes, like when in like bigger schools you have like those like big classes and you only have like one professor. Like there are smaller classes so where you can actually have a connection or like a relationship with your professor. Like if you ever have questions, I feel like in a bigger school it's kind of like hard to do so with that. So I think that's also just really nice.
You are an academic type person, I can see.
My major is biology.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, what's your major and what do you want to do with that?
My major is biology. I want to become a veterinarian. I mean, I've always just loved pets since being young. So that's definitely something I always just wanted to do.
I think that this is like just a great thing for young black kids that HBCUs are going to be having gymnastics. I'm sure there are going to be some more popping up.
Yeah.
I've heard of some other HBCUs
This
that are
is just the
interested
beginning.
too. Yeah, because there's so many more blacks who are doing gymnastics now. I mean, and it started with Dominique Dawes,
Yes.
and then with Simone Biles. And I've heard that you've met both, and tell us those situations where you met both of them.
Dominique Dawes, I went to George Washington. I went to the George Washington meet, and Fisk was there. I was just there just to watch the meet, and Dominique Dawes happened to be there, and I met her. She was so nice. I took a picture with her. And then for Simone Biles, I went to her camp, I think in possibly 2015. I got to meet her as well. She signed a leotard. She was very nice, yeah. And I think it was just a really cool experience. I'm so used to seeing these people like on TV, and now that I'm actually like seeing them in person, it was a cool experience.
When you met them, Simone and Dominique, how did that inspire you?
It was very inspirational. I've always just like looked up to them, just seeing like the skills that they were doing, and I think it's so cool that I'm actually able to do some of them now, because little me would just be like, I could never do that. And now that I've gotten to where I am, I'm just so proud of myself. So.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of people proud of you too, especially down at Talladega. And what's coming up for you all this season? Your first season, you guys have to be excited.
Yes, we're competing with Florida. That's our first meet. But then we have the MLK meet, which is an historical meet, which is going to be on Martin Luther King Day. And that's going to be a meet where there's nothing but, I think, all black coaches. Like I know Coach Umi from Rutgers, she's very nice. I've worked with her at the Brown Girls Do Gymnastics camps that I went to. She's super nice. And I can't wait to compete at that meet. I think it's going to be so dope.
Okay.
So.
All right. Do you all talk about that you're going to be competing against D1 schools? What do you say to each other about that? I mean, is that intimidating or is that kind of exciting?
It's both. It's a mixture of both. because I think we just can't believe like this is happening, but then we're just like, oh my gosh, because like this program kind of just started. Like I said before, we're just really just excited to show what Talladega has in store.
How do you feel you have developed since August?
I think we're doing great now, and our consistency has been building on events. And I remember that we started from just running on the field to doing early morning conditioning, like outside and lifting. But now we are actually in the actual gym getting our routines together.
The days that we have practice, I usually wake up around 5 a.m. to then meet up with the team to be picked up by the coaches around 5:25. We head down to Trustville. We practice from 6:30 to 9:30. Then we usually get back on campus around 11. Around that time, I usually eat a little bit, then get ready for class. And after class, I might do some study hall, a little bit of homework, and I just enjoy the rest of my day. Okay, I feel better. Yay! Last one, best one.
There's Brown Girls Gymnastics or something.
Gymnastics.
Talk about those groups and what they're doing.
I went to one in A&T, and I went to one that they did at Clark University. It was a lot of fun. There was like a lot of, brown girls there, and it's not even just specifically like black girls, it's any girl of color. They are just very inclusive, which I think is just very nice because in gymnastics you don't really see a lot of, black girls. Or so I think that's also really nice for other little girls just to see like this is something that could happen, and I'm actually grateful that brown girls actually came up with something like that.
Do you get to work with the younger girls? Actually, do teaching? How is that?
It's really nice. They're literally so cute. I actually did choreography at the camps, and I think teaching them was like a really nice experience because they got to show like their personality. And I got to get to know them a little bit and like what their little favorite events are and what gymnasts they look up to. Yeah.
So what is the most fun part of gymnastics?
Oh, getting to show off. Get to show off and just show how all your hard work has paid off. And like what I said before, like showing like your personality. Definitely like in floor, because that's where everybody gets to see your personality and what you're like in gymnastics. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, what future goals do you have?
Future goals, like long term, definitely to stay healthy.
That's the first thing in gymnastics, right?
Oh yeah, staying healthy is definitely important.
Your favorite foods?
Pizza.
Okay.
Definitely pizza. I'm definitely a pizza person. And then like favorite dessert, I have to say sweet potato pie.
Okay. So what about favorite movies?
Avatar.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. And musicians?
Musician? What? I don't know about musician, but I mean Beyonce. Beyonce. It's my favorite singer.
So
yeah.
Beyonce is like, great performer.
Yes.
All right, so you want to be the Beyonce in gymnastics, right?
Queen Bee.
Okay, so you'll be that. You'll be a queen of gymnastics. Is that what you're headed for?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, basically, what is it going to take though for you to do that?
Become a Queen Bee?
To be like that good, what is it going to take?
Just practice and just confidence. When your confidence is there, off the charts.
You can do anything.
You can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also just having the passion, right? And you seem to have that.
Yes. That determination, all of that comes into play.
And all your support systems, like your parents and all that good stuff. So any last words for young girls who are out here, whether they're in gymnastics or whatever?
Just to be you, and to have fun. Because sometimes, like in gymnastics, it can be like too serious, or you gotta be like, oh, you have to get this perfect, you have to land this, don't fall, don't fall. No, just be you, relax, have fun, show off, and everything will be okay.
All right. How many meets do you have? About 10?
About 10,
Yeah.
9, 10.
Yeah, so you're gonna be all around, and hopefully you'll get close to this area.
I hope so.
To the DMV area. Yeah, people will love to see you guys.
And thanks for having me.
All right, Kyrstin Johnson, gymnast at Talladega College, the Tornadoes.
Whoosh.
And Tornadoes, that says a lot right there.
Go
right?
Tornadoes. Tear it up, tore it up, clean it up.
All right. Thanks for joining us on Metro Scene as we featured Kyrstin Johnson of the Talladega College Tornadoes gymnastics team. We wish her the best, as well as the team, in this first season in NCAA gymnastics. So for Metro Scene, I'm Marvin Jackson. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.